Justin Trudeau is an idiot, plain and simple, and Pierre Poilievre exploits that. I've done this take a few times, and every time I laugh, Pierre Poilievre exploits it because it's so easy to exploit. It's just hook, line, and sinker, simple fishing tactics to get Trudeau to bite the worm, and he does every single time, and then we are all blessed with an amazing Trudeau is an idiot or Justin Trudeau destroyed clip. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. It's exactly what we're going to be taking a look at today. But before we get into it, I do want to encourage you guys to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet already. And I have a beautiful discount for you beautiful people from my beautiful sponsor. Here we go. This video is brought to you by Private Internet Access. We've teamed up together and are willing to offer my audience 83% off using the code House of Canada, which can be found linked down in the description or the pinned comment below. There's no easy way of putting this. Justin Trudeau is trying to censor the internet and he's trying to implement a digital ID. And the only way that you can actually really protect yourself online is through a VPN. And my go-to VPN is Private Internet Access. Now, those who don't know what a VPN is, it acts as a way to encrypt your data, which means that all the big tech companies, including the government, can't access your information. Your information bounces around from IP address to IP address, and it doesn't just act as a way to protect yourself, but it's also a way to access content which you wouldn't regularly be able to get because of geolocation restrictions, such as Netflix or Disney. I know a lot of people in Canada want to access the American stuff, and the only real way to do that is with a VPN. And it is so user-friendly with Private Internet Access. You can have it on your phone, your tablet, all of your devices, your computers, etc. Just be sure to use House of Canada as your code, which should be linked down in the description or the pinned comment below to get yourself 83% off with Private Internet Access. Thank you, Private Internet Access, for sponsoring today's video.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Not a chance. That's what the president of the Residential Construction Council said when asked if this prime minister would keep his promise to build 3.9 million homes by 2031. So let's hear it from the prime minister. To reach that target, he'd have to build 550,000 homes per year. So yes or no, will the prime minister hit the target of 550,000 homes this year? Yes or no?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, Canada is facing a housing crisis and we need to take real action towards it, which is what we
That you created, oh my goodness. He's in crazy denial.
That this country's ever seen. But, Mr. Speaker, that's not to say we haven't had housing crises before. It is not to say we haven't solved housing crises before. At the end of World War II, there was a need for massive new housing, and Canada stepped up and got that housing built. Indeed, when the boomers came of age, there was a need for massive housing, and we made investments, and the federal government helped build housing across the country for boomers. We are doing that now as we build housing.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
That was a wonderful history lesson, except it didn't answer the question. He promised he'd lower housing costs in 2015. He doubled them.
Pierre.
He promised he'd double home building. It actually went down and is still dropping. But now he's promising 3.9 million brand new homes by 2031. That means he'd have to build 550,000 this year and every year. So once again, will the Prime Minister keep his promise to build 550,000 homes this year? Yes or no?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Leader Opposite speaks of 2015. Well, we took office with a commitment to get this government back, the federal government back in the business of building housing. We launched a national housing strategy in 2017 that put 2.5 million Canadians into new or refurbished homes, and we've continued to invest ever since. We're building homes on public lands. We're converting underused federal offices into homes. We're taxing vacant lands to incentivize construction. We're building apartments, bringing rents down with top-ups to the apartment construction loan program. We're scaling up modular housing. We're launching Canada Builds to lead a Team Canada effort to build more homes and more, Mr. Speaker.
L'honorable chef de l'opposition.
The question was not how quickly he could read off talking points written for him by his staff. The question was, whether he's going to break yet another housing promise. Remember, he promised he'd lower housing costs. He doubled them. He promised he'd double the number of homes built. They went down. Now he's promising 3.9 million new homes by 2031. That means 550,000 new homes this and every year. Will
That's 1,500 homes per day.
keep that promise? Yes or no?
There's no way. That's 1,500 houses per day. That's your economy would have to be banging.
Criticism is there's too many measures in our housing plan. Housing should be solved by a simple one-size-fits-all solution, according to the Leader of the Opposition. That's perhaps how he managed to build only 6 affordable homes when he was Minister of Housing. Because yes, we have a broad range of initiatives that are delivering on housing, like topping up the Housing Accelerator Fund with $400 million, a new $6 billion Canada Housing Infrastructure Fund to help communities build. We're leveraging transit funding to build more homes. We're launching a housing design catalog. We're incentivizing more skilled trade workers.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
He's announcing a catalog, everybody.
Oh my God!
Afford a home, you might end up in a tent, your rent is doubled, but hey, you've got a brand new catalog. Mr. Speaker, the question was, will he build 550,000 new homes, yes or no?
Hey, let's get some W's in the chat. That was entertaining, making a mockery of the government.
He mentioned the history lesson. Well, if he was housing minister, he should have known that the way we solved the housing crisis after World War II was by putting forward a catalog of homes that builders could access to build extremely rapidly right across the country. So yes, that's one of the measures we're bringing back. And his mockery of concrete initiatives that are going to deliver for Canadians is exactly what's wrong with his approach. He'd rather mock and insult than actually roll up his sleeves and get solutions built for Canadians.
The Liberals can't even all stand up together in unison. That's so pathetic.
Order.
He still didn't answer the question. That's crazy.
The Honourable Member from London Fanshawe.
Report after report has shown that women who serve in the Canadian Armed Forces are not safe, and consecutive governments have failed to act urgently. Shamefully, a new report revealed that 5% of women have been sexually attacked at their military colleges in the last 12 months. Justice Arbour was clear. Now is the time to end the toxic culture that exists within these colleges. Women deserve a safe place to train and to learn. When will the Prime Minister act to protect women who are the future generation of the Canadian Armed Forces?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we absolutely agree that the culture at the Royal Military College needs to change. That's why we took action. We appointed the Canadian Military College Review Board last year to enable meaningful culture change at these institutions. No RMC cadet and no CAF member should ever be subject to harassment, discrimination, or misconduct. The Minister of National Defence will not hesitate to implement the necessary changes to protect cadets and all officers.
Hear, hear. This plan to axe the tax, build the homes,
That's a funny slip
and
up.
stop the crime. But of course, the NDP is keeping this costly Prime Minister in office for another year and a half while people starve and are forced to live in tents. Those Canadians who've been able to hold on to their homes, they can't afford a vacation, but maybe a staycation. So we're asking today that the Prime Minister vote for a motion we will introduce tomorrow, which will give Canadians a 35-cent a litre gas tax break until Labor Day. Will the Prime Minister axe the taxes so Canadians can have a staycation?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative Party is proposing to eliminate the Canada carbon rebate. This is a rebate that arrives 4 times a year in the pocket pockets of Canadian families that, according to experts, economists, and the Parliamentary Budget Officer, puts more money in the pockets of 8 out of 10 Canadian families in the jurisdictions in which it applies. This is more money in people's pockets while we fight climate change.
No one agrees with that. It's been debunked.
Change Canada has ever seen. This is what the Conservative leader continues to rally against: affordability and climate fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Of course, the Prime Minister is doing neither. After 9 years, the NDP Liberal Prime Minister is not worth the cost, and neither is his carbon tax, which the Parliamentary Budget Officer finds costs more to 60% of Canadians than they get back in phony rebates. Mr. Speaker, going into the summer, the Prime Minister plans to hike taxes again. Canadians need a break now more than ever. Can he put aside his wacko ideology long enough to give Canadians a break by axing all the taxes on fuel for summer vacation?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it's not ideology to understand that fighting climate change and growing the economy while putting money in people's pockets is a good thing, because that's exactly what this government has done. Excluding the pandemic, our emissions are now the lowest they've been in 25 years because of our plan that prices pollution and puts more money back in the pockets out of 8 of 10 Canadian families. The fact that he refuses to understand that you don't have a plan for the economy if you don't have a plan to fight climate change is yet another proof of the fact that his approach is not going to succeed for Canadians.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, he ranks 62nd out of 67 countries on fighting climate change. This after he's brought in
That's
a
quite
17
sad.
cent a litre carbon tax. A tax that he wants to nearly quadruple up to 61 cents a litre if, God forbid, he's ever elected. We have 2 million people lined up at food banks, a quarter of Canadians skipping meals because they can't afford food. 1 in 4 adults missing meals so they can feed their kids. For God's sakes, why won't he give Canadians a summer vacation from all his taxes and accept our common sense plan?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
The Conservative leader isn't focused on affordability. He's focused on ending action on climate change. If he was so concerned about the price of gas, he'd have a conversation with his friend, the Premier of Alberta, who just raised the gas tax by 13 cents a litre. Experts agree, including Premier Smith, that Canadians receive back more money from the Canada carbon rebate than they pay with the price on pollution. We are putting a price on pollution and putting more money back in the pockets of the middle class and people working hard to join it. That is joining the efforts we're doing on affordability, like dental care, like support for childcare, and support the middle class.
That is the end of the video, everybody. I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. On your way out, I'd like to encourage you guys one last time to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet already, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.